Our speaker tonight has served in almost all the roles in the District Executive Committee and Club Executive Committee during her 10 years in Toastmasters. She has a bachelor's degree in communication with emphasis in broadcasting and minors in marketing and management from Freed-Hardeman University in Henderson, Tennessee. She and her husband, Wayne, believe in Toastmasters so much that they required their 3 children to join Toastmasters and give at least 3 speeches if they wanted their parents to pay for their college education. Their oldest daughter, Kristen, became the 3rd distinguished Toastmaster in the family last year. Tonight's presentation is being recorded. It is an interactive presentation that requires your input to help everyone with ideas for marketing your Toastmasters Club. Please raise your hand in the Zoom app and unmute when you have a comment or question. You can give comments in the chat section. Please welcome Kim Goode as she presents Marketing Your Toastmasters Club.
Thank you all. I want to talk about marketing, obviously. So the first thing to discuss is, what is marketing? It's an action or business of promoting and selling products or services, including market research and advertising. Now, World Headquarters has done quite a bit of market research, and that's the main thing we're going to look at tonight, is their market research and ways we can use what they've gathered to promote our club and market our club to potential members. Now, there are 3 basic types of Toastmasters clubs. There's open clubs that anyone can join. There's corporate clubs, which are usually limited to who can join as an employee of the club or school, students. And then there are niche clubs, like advanced clubs. And now that so many clubs are meeting online, there's all kinds of niche clubs. There's one even for former district directors or governors that only former ones can join. Now, if you're in a corporate club, you're not going to want to go out and use the internet to advertise your club. But if your company has an intranet, that might be a good place to advertise your club. You can also look at advertising using pamphlets and brochures that you put up around your corporation to let members know. So marketing some specialty clubs are not really what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about marketing mainly open clubs, although some of these ideas can be used for corporate clubs. Now, many clubs don't seem to get the fact that anyone can market a club. They want to leave it up to the VPPR. That's their job. Only they need to do it. But as club officers and club coaches, we want to encourage everyone to be marketing Toastmasters. I have a little pin that says, "Ask me about Toastmasters," and I carry it around on my purse. It's only happened that a couple of people have asked me, but other times I'm wearing a Toastmasters t-shirt and people ask me about it. I feel like Toastmasters is kind of like a religion. We've all benefited from being in Toastmasters, and we need to share this great thing we found with everybody. That's the best way we can recruit. And when we look at a little bit at the personas, you'll find that all of those almost, they heard about Toastmasters from a friend, a coworker, a boss. It's word of mouth advertising. Now, recruiting new members is a part of marketing, and it's very important to a club's success, because without those new members coming in, clubs kind of get old and die, is what I have found. Now, the pre-work that hopefully all of you got, or Lillian shared in the meeting, has a lot of great questions for us to answer about a club. They call it a club snapshot. And after tonight, I'd hope that you will all take this club snapshot and go back with your club executive committee and work on answers to these questions. Now, I want to look at the first question, or at question 4 on page 2. How do members or visitors find your club? Do you ask visitors how they found your club? Right. This is where I want you to raise your hands. What is the main places where people find your club? You're welcome to unmute and answer.
Kim, I just did an analysis for the last 18 months for our club, and I've got it right here. Find the Club got us, now this is people who actually joined the club. 4 people from Find the Club, 3 from personal invitation, 2 were referred by a district officer, 2 came by way of Google to our website, 1 was referred by an advisor, and 1 came by way of one of our Eventbrite ads.
That's very good information to know. And I would hope that all clubs could do that well, in knowing that, and not just visitors, but visitors that you convert to members, how they found out. I know that Meetup has been successful in getting visitors for us at Redstone. Anyone else have any? And word of mouth, obviously, that's one of the biggest things we can do. Catrice, thank you for that. Anyone else have anything that's working well for their clubs? Susie.
Well, I'm Vice President of Public Relations in Tennessee Valley Toastmasters. It's not a role I've ever done before, where you are doing things virtually. So it's a learning curve for me to produce marketing materials and upload them. And I thought I'd just be doing it on our club website, but that's not accurate. We have an internal club website on Facebook that just goes to our members. Then we have Tennessee Valley Toastmasters Club 360 that goes to the world. And then there's the Region 8 Toastmasters and the District 77 Toastmasters. And then there's the public relation officers pages. And so I've been doing that religiously every week. And that is where we have had an increase of visitors to our club meetings virtually. And we're only meeting virtually. So, and then I'm now learning how, and thank you, John, for your report, because I'm now learning how to look at and find those reports to see who sees what, when, and how many responses do you get and things like that. So it tells me that some of the things I've posted have been flops, but I've done other posts, whatever it is, I can now identify what it is that people like to see. So I'm focusing more on that kind of content.
Thank you, Susie. And that brings me to something else that's in the pre-work. There's an online media audit as part of that. It asks you questions about websites, blogs, Facebook, Twitter. And it asks if you have a plan to drive more members and or prospective members to view content. When was it most recently updated? The target number of updates per week. Who is responsible for updating this space? Those are all very important questions that each club needs to work out. How would you feel if you're going to visit a club website and you find out it hasn't been updated in 2 or 3 months? You're going to visit that club?
No.
Right. That's why keeping up with the social media is so important. And I'm going to brag on Lillian right now. Susie mentioned Facebook, our Redstone Facebook page. After each meeting, she puts up a nice little trophy that says who won the awards for that meeting. It's a chance to see your name on Facebook, right? But it's something people like doing. The more we can get our members' names out, I think the better it helps promote. And if your members see that they've won the award, and maybe they'll share it on their personal Facebook, and that'll draw more people into, hey, what is this Toastmasters thing you're talking about? There are lots of different marketing techniques, and the thing that is easiest for us to do perhaps these days is online marketing, especially with Facebook, Twitter. And there are things I've never heard of before. Obviously, I've heard of Instagram. I've only recently heard of Easy Speak, but there are many different social media accounts that are working on. I had never heard of Meetup until my husband wanted to start using it to advertise Toastmasters. Another one that many of you may have heard of is Nextdoor, which is mainly trends towards neighborhoods. But recently, I don't know, I know a few of you are from Huntsville. You may have heard that Huntsville has become the largest city in Alabama. We've had so many people moving in here in the last few years that it's hard to keep up. And someone posted on Nextdoor a couple months ago, hey, I'm new to the area. What activities should I look at? So everybody was listing their different things. So of course, I took the opportunity to turn her and anybody else who read it towards Toastmasters. And we did get a couple of visitors through that, and more people that I hope will visit eventually. There's no limit to what you can find online and ways to advertise. And the important part of that is most of it's free. Because as a club, you don't have the chance or the money to pay for that. That's more the district's job. And we've got Kevin on here, our immediate past district director, Wanda, and Jessica, our district PR person. And hopefully they can help us with some ideas that will help not just the clubs, but also everyone. Yes, Clara.
I have to say, a big social media that can help the clubs, because it's the working class, is LinkedIn. That's, if you really want to find, that's where most of the clubs should go. It is different the way you can promote there. Every social platform is different. I can say that by experience, because that's the kind of business I do. I do social marketing, and each of them are different. They have their own rules. You have to go by their rules so you don't get caught in between a rock and a hard place. And there are ways of promoting that is free. If we don't take advantage of that, we don't know if this is going to be free forever. There is no way. Another thing is you want to be able to capture their email address. Whoever comes and asks any question, the best way to do it is to offer something for free. It's just a funnel. It's a very simple funnel, and that probably will be your best, any club best investment is on a funnel. Can be AWeber, that's only $20 a month, and that probably be your best investment on return. The ROI on that is probably the best one, because you can create of offering something for free that can help anyone become a speaker, or not a speaker, but hints on how to give a speech, a 5-minute speech. What are the basics? Just the basics, something for free. Mm-hmm. And capture their email address and their phone number and their name. Yes. That's it. And then you can contact, you have that as part of your contact names when you have events, open houses, anniversaries, whatever, yes. Halloween, whatever. You can send emails out and invite those people. Because you don't know when it is that they are going to they need it. They know they need it because they're asking for it.
Yes.
But that will be the attraction.
Thank you, Clara. And she brought up some good points. And going back to something that John brought up a while ago, people who search for a club through Find a Club on Toastmasters.org, that information is emailed to your club president or whoever you have listed as the point of contact. Back when I was district director, they had done an interview with people who had looked at Find a Club and had not joined. And over 60% of the people they asked why you didn't visit or join a club, they never heard back from the people they asked about in Find a Club. So it's very important to know, first of all, who that email is going to, and let that person know they're getting that email and that they need to respond to it. It says within 48 hours. And did you know that there is a sample letter on Toastmasters.org, a sample email that you can send out to those people and just put in the information for your club?
Yep.
That's something very important. Yep. Toastmasters also provides us with information to send out to potential members. They've recently come up with a video about what to expect at a Toastmasters meeting. It's a couple of minutes long, but it would be great to send out to potential guests. There are lots of different ways to advertise, and that's what we all want to talk about tonight. I will tell you that one of our members at Redstone works for a company that has a group of younger engineers, and he invites them regularly to Toastmasters. The last time we had an open house, I think 3 of his coworkers came to our open house. It was then online because of his invitation. We're having an open house tomorrow. I'd be interested to see if any more come, since we're getting to meet in person. We are a hybrid club. But there are lots of different ways and approaches, and it's up to us to find which marketing technique best will work for our club and for the potential members we want to attract to our club. And with that, I'm going to share my screen for a moment so that we can look at this. Are you seeing my screen?
No.
Okay. Just a minute. Let me try it again.
It's still loading.
Okay. Oh, well, I just stopped it. There we go. These they ask members, Toastmasters World Headquarters back in 2019, 2020, their goals for joining Toastmasters. And you will see here that 60% basically said their goal was to be a more effective speaker and to build confidence for public speaking. And I really like that word, confidence. I think that's a word that we need to use more often when we tell people about what Toastmasters has done for us or can do for them. It can give you the self-confidence that you need to be a better and more effective public speaker. And when you add improved presentation skills, that's 70% of these that are joining to be a better speaker. Improving leadership skills, a little over 10%. Professional goals, that can be leadership or presentation skills or just about anything else. You'll notice that almost 5% join to network with others or build social connections. Develop motivational strategies and prepare for a specific speech are both less than 2%. So if you're looking at this list as a club coach, as a club officer, you're going to want to attract people in these three more than anything else, in improving presentation skills, becoming a more effective speaker, building confidence. So how do we go about improving our chances of having recruiting members who want to fulfill those roles? Yes, Susie.
Well, just think about the groups of people that are in the business of communicating information to others, right? The people that also have organizations where they are like Toastmasters, where their members have to go out into the community and spread their good word, like Rotary, for example, or the Chamber of Commerce, for example. But there's organizations all over this valley that could benefit from speech coaching, as they might want to call it. Toastmasters would help them out a lot. It equip their people to go out and spread the message that they want. You know, a lot of people don't even know what their company's vision is. So first they have to learn that, but then they need to learn how to communicate it and be that good ambassador for the company, the organization, or whatever it is. And I think anywhere we look, in any direction, we're going to find opportunities. We're just not active lookers. That's the problem. We're not actively looking for those people. We've got our information out on the internet, and we're hoping they're looking for us. So we need to do more.
That's a very good point. How can we as Toastmasters, besides word of mouth, find ways to go out and find potential members?
I personally, as a social marketer that I am, you have to be out there in social media. You have to be posting daily. You have to be posting, I guess you could say, doing like a curiosity post to attract people to it. How would I say, maybe some of them could be questions. I forgot how is that this term is said in English. I'm sorry, English is not, it's my first language, kind of, because I live here in the States, but it's not my birth language. But it's that type of question that is catchy, that it attracts your attention, it grabs your attention completely. And if you do just a simple text posting like that, and perhaps a couple of short videos that, and now I'm also thinking TikTok, believe it or not. Yes, TikTok. Okay. And let me tell you, you don't have to be 20 or 30 or 15 years old to get in TikTok. I saw a lady yesterday. She's in her 90s, I think. Okay. Yes. So we can do TikTok as long as you can do a video. You can point at things and say, here, 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 and here, and put the letters in there. Like,
okay,
I got promoted, I got this, I got that, thanks to Toastmaster such and such club. And people will come to you and ask you. And then you will tell them, or you can tell them, go to the link, link and have a link. So, but yes, it will take someone that is dedicated. So more than a VPPR, you will have to have is someone that can do social marketing for the club.
And that's a specialized field. I have a daughter that works in marketing for an international corporation, and she will do some social media, but she mainly concentrates on other things. Social media marketing, like you're talking about, requires special things, and we're not we have to remember sometimes we're a volunteer agency and we don't
I know,
have the time to put into this. It's
I
like
know.
Lillian
I-
said when she tells people about Toastmasters, Toastmasters is the fourth thing on your list. It's your relationship with God, your family, your job, and then Toastmasters.
Yep.
So while you've got some great ideas, I
I
don't know
know.
that we have the time or the know-how to do
I'm
a lot of those things.
I'm gonna tell you one thing.
Clara,
That's where
excuse me,
younger people will help a lot.
Clara, can we get you to stop, please? Kim is recording this for Toastmasters International, so we don't need to hijack her presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Clara. Thank you, Lillian. We want to talk about ways that we can target specific audiences. What can you say to someone that's looking to improve, build confidence for their public speaking, or become a more effective speaker? What can you say to them if you're in person talking to them about Toastmasters? Yes, Susie.
Personal testimony.
Yes.
You know, I was shy. I stuttered and stammered as an adult. I was just mortified. And in my first few speeches in Toastmasters were absolutely wretched, but I worked through it. And the only reason how I could do that was just a supportive group of people in my club. I mean, they were so great. And I just can't even thank them enough for ushering me through that time. Our personal testimonies, how we started out, but where did we go and what are we doing now? I think those are the best selling items that we have.
Very good. Lillian.
When we're having that conversation, listen to people, listen to what they're saying. And when they mention they may be afraid of something or they have to brief, then we tell them, we give them the 30-second Toastmasters speech about what it's done for us or what it can do for them. But I think listening is one of the best ways to tell your story.
Very good. Anyone else? Hattie, I know you've got something you can add to this.
I would say it ditto to what they've said, but just be excited. You've got to be excited about Toastmasters. And when they sometimes just that excitement that they may not even understand what it is, but the excitement that you show about it when you tell your personal testimony, that will draw people because they everybody's looking for some type of positive energy.
Yes, it's a great idea. One of the things that I used to hear about a lot in Toastmasters, I haven't heard it as much lately, mainly because we can't all be in an elevator, but as an elevator speech, have that as Lillian mentioned, 30-second speech that you're ready to give when asked. Why should I come visit a Toastmasters Club? What's in it for me in Toastmasters? And there's little catchphrases. I mentioned building confidence. One I like to tell people because it gets asked a lot by visitors is it's a self-paced program. You can go as fast as you want or as slow as you want. What other ideas do you have for talking to someone about Toastmasters, especially if they fit into this group? How should your club going about reaching out to people to market your club to them? Yes, Susie.
Well, we all go out into the world. And so, you know, if you were a business owner, you'd want to know what your people are saying to other people that they encounter. Likewise, are those people equipped to tell your story? You know, so if we're Toastmasters and we're trying to do corporate Toastmasters business, you know, and you're talking to the person in the corporate office, what kind of information do you want your people to carry out into the world? And what are you doing to equip them to be able to do that? You know, I did military trade shows for years, and I can't tell you how many of the people that stood behind the booths had no idea what the company's message was, what their real goals were. So finding out their goals, finding what their messages are, and how Toastmasters can help them do that and do it effectively and consistent is one approach.
Which is one of the next things on my list of things to discuss. How do you find out what the goals of the members of your clubs are? Toastmasters has already done the hard work. All you gotta do is download it. There is a member interest survey. And for new members, there's a new member profile sheet. These are two things that you can find under resources in toastmasters.org that will help you survey your members, help you learn what their goals are. And you might want to have the mentors work through the new member profile sheet with the new members so that they can also see what their goals are and what the club members can do to help them meet those goals. Yes, Susie.
I put in chat 2 flyers, one on top 10 places to speak outside of your club as a Toastmaster, and the real world transferable skills of Toastmasters. Now, I developed that when I was a candidate for international director. It was the #1 resource requested to Toastmasters ever. So they actually formalized it as a flyer themselves. But this is my flyer, and I post. Gets a lot of kudos on social media posting. But if you want to talk about Toastmasters in a different way, it's not just communication. I mean, how important is listening? How important is evaluating? I mean, we listen to all kinds of information all day long. We have to be able to interpret that. We have to be able to regurgitate it, all of those kinds of skills. So I think we're cutting ourselves short if we're just talking about communication or we're just talking about leadership. So talk about the real world skills that everybody uses every day in everyday life and business.
Thank you. Very important point. Now we've looked at those member goals, and we're also want to keep in mind how your club goes after those potential members. We've talked about social media, word of mouth, but how do you find those members? I think that the media audit, social media audit, can help you as a club look at how to find these members. When you have people that work in corporations that maybe aren't big enough to have a club, and even that are, would you go to at that corporation to see about encouraging their employees to either start a club or join an already existing club? Are you going to look at HR manager? That's a good place to start. But just a simple, regular old manager can see the need sometimes if he's or she has tried to speak to people and realizes, hey, it's not coming out like I think it is in my head. How do I work to be a more effective communicator? I think that's the main reason World Headquarters made the tagline "Where Leaders Are Made," is because they realized that being a good communicator helps make you a good leader. And I'll tell you, my husband told me back in the early 2000s, he had no intention of ever getting into management. Then about 2009, he discovered Toastmasters, and by 2012, he was in management. Things change, your priorities change when you start communicating better and more effectively. And there are catchwords we can use, like confidence. That's something that I've used with younger people, trying to get them interested in Toastmasters, is that self-confidence that some of them think they have, and then they realize, hey, wait a minute, I'm not as confident as I thought. They can come to Toastmasters and get it. Now, there's something in Toastmasters that I want to share this screen with y'all. It is also in your workbook and in your pre-workbook, but there are several of these personas. There's 7 of them that Toastmasters worked through. And I will tell you that it was given, I first saw this when I worked in district leadership. They gave us this information, but each of these personas is different. But when you look down here about, they heard about Toastmasters from a friend or family member. 6% of the members are students. Now, I said in the introduction, as Yvette said, we made our kids join. I still have a son that qualifies here, and he's learning more about Toastmasters all the time. But they want to build these soft skills and improve their skills. Next, we have early career enthusiasts. Now, there's one thing I want to show you down here, not speaking English as a primary language. I know that I have met several people in District 77 and around the world as a district leader where English is not their primary language. And a lot of these Toastmasters are in India, China, the Middle East. They join Toastmasters mainly to help with their English skills. This is one of the groups that you really don't have to advertise to. They will find you usually. The next group we want to look at, they're still young. They may have a bachelor's or master's degree and an employee. I like how they're self-described as enthusiastic, shy, and socially awkward. I think I was when I was in that 25 to 34 age set. Most of us were. They're looking to build confidence, gain momentum at work, improve their presentation skills. This is a group that are more likely to hear about it from a coworker or a manager, and they want an informal club. The social professional, they're a little bit older. They might have their bachelor's or master's degree and be working. They're enthusiastic. They're looking to move up. They want to improve their presentation skills. And this is another group that heard it almost exclusively from a friend and not speaking English as their primary language. They want a more formal club to help them learn English. The confident leader, it's more likely to be female. Most of these are male or female. In this same age group, they may have their bachelor's, master's, or doctorate. They have a high income. They're enthusiastic and self-confidence. So what are they looking to do? They're looking to improve in their career, be a mentor or an advisor. They're looking to network, but still improve their skills. And they also heard about Toastmasters from a friend. Now we're looking at a group that's another instance where it's most likely to be female. You know, I've been wondering why most of the 45 and up Toastmasters in District 77 are female, but that doesn't mean all of them. They also are enthusiastic and self-confident. They want to be a mentor or advisor and improve their skills. They heard about it from a friend, a coworker, or an online search. And then this is the one that makes up the majority of one of my clubs, the retiree. They can be male or female. Yes, Susie and Lillian fit this group. They have likely to be retired. They're enthusiastic, self-confident, and traditional. They're happy where they're at, where they want to become a mentor or advisor. They join to improve their presentation skills. They heard about it from a Toastmaster, from a friend, or saw a flyer in the community. And they're willing to travel more for club meetings. This is another group that you don't necessarily have to advertise to. And I have to tell you a story about our oldest member of our club. She's 80, and she actually joined us a couple years before COVID hit and lives out in the middle of nowhere, Tennessee, and did not have internet. So we missed her so much when we were meeting exclusively online. She drives an hour and a half to attend our meetings. And she heard about Toastmasters from another member of our club at the Huntsville Hospital's health club, is the best way to describe it, that they have here in town. And she remembered, hey, I used to be in Toastmasters way back yonder when she lived in California, and she joined just to keep her mind sharp. And she has been such a welcome addition to our club because her insight, she has a doctorate, and the insight that she can give us is great. Get somebody with an English doctorate to be your grammarian, and you can learn so much. But all of those different personas work together to make up a good and active club. So one of the things that you want to look at and consider when marketing your club is the personas of the members who are currently in your club, but you also want to look at who would most benefit from being in your club, because you don't want all of your club members to be young college students or to be retirees. I've heard this about too many clubs. When some young person visited and then I asked them what they thought, I've heard they were all old. Of course, at the time, I was probably one of the younger members of some of my clubs, but now I'm up there with the older members. It's just the way it is. We get older. But we all need to attract the different ones. And I can't go around making all the college students join because I can't afford to pay for all their college educations. It's enough to deal with my 3 kids. But how can we attract more college students, more young professionals into our clubs? Any ideas? Yes, Susie.
Well, looking at all of the profiles, Kim, because you sent it out early. I saw it early when I first got on. A lot of them have to do with career development. I have to say, when I joined Toastmasters, I didn't focus on leadership at all. I just wanted to get the speaking part down. But I was approached within the first 6 months that I signed the document that said I would serve as an officer when called upon to do so. Well, I'm a solo entrepreneur. I never worked with a team of people. That was not attractive to me at all. Yet, when I was assigned president of the club and started working with the club officers, that changed my world. For the first time, I worked with a team of people. I could be clumsy. I had mentors. I got to try and try again. And I was kind of sloppy at the beginning because, I'm kind of a, bossy. I wasn't old then, but I was a bossy old broad, and I still am, I guess. So working with people and gaining consensus and all those kinds of stuff, the listening skills, the evaluating. So we can go anywhere with those opportunities, Kim, especially in schools and in the colleges. They have interviews, and they have to give presentations, and they have to show leadership. And so what a better way to get that in the womb of a Toastmasters club.
Very good. Yes, Lillian.
If there is a college or university, community college close to you, then I suggest going to talk to some of the college staff, especially if there's a communications professor, if there's an ROTC program, or a placement office, and letting them know what Toastmasters can do for their students to help them interview and find jobs once they leave, because I do believe colleges like to brag about their placement percentage.
Yes. And the placement office, I think, is a great place to start. Something else to consider if there's a school near you. It's already passed for this school year, but especially in August, early September, all these schools usually have a great big place where new students can go to see how to get involved on campus. I have a son at the University of Alabama. There's 38,000 students. Over 8,000 of them are first-time freshmen, and about 6,000 from last year didn't get to really experience campus life before. So they had a great big thing. It would have been a great place for Toastmasters clubs from Birmingham to go and say, hey, you can join us online. We have 3 colleges and a community, 3 universities and a community college here in Huntsville. I'm working with Lillian, and Lillian's been working with all 3 because they were all ready to start a club before COVID hit. And Kevin and I are working to go with the ROTCs to get that information out to those people who need leadership. Here's another idea that we haven't really talked about. Yes, the Student Center is a great idea. Leave a few brochures with contact information on them in the Student Center. Also in the offices where people go to work on their resume, things like that. Another idea for promoting Toastmasters in general and your club and specifically can be local talk radio, local TV news. The morning shows and the noon shows around here in Huntsville have time where they will interview someone about something going on locally. Maybe you can arrange to have and make it someone who really knows Toastmasters but can present Toastmasters in short answers. I'll tell you why. I have a background in television news, and we work in 10-second sound bites. Television news, you'll notice you very seldom hear very long answers. That's because they only have so much time, and you may only get 2 minutes. But if you can sit down with someone on the morning show or the noon show and talk about Toastmasters and give your spiel about what it's done for you and what it can do for other people. The same with local talk radio. There's a couple of talk radio stations here in Huntsville. I think there's 2 or 3 in Birmingham. I'm sure there are others in other parts of the district. Those are great resources to reach people who might fit in one of these personas and might be looking to improve. Now, Claire, you've had your hand raised. You need to unmute.
Two words, 2 places that you can find them: TikTok and Instagram, or I shall say Instagram and TikTok. That's where the younger generation hangs out. And they're young professionals, most of them. I will say in a way Twitter, but where the young professionals hang out more is Instagram and TikTok.
Yes, I have some young professionals in my family, and they quit Facebook a long time ago because the old people took it over. Their words. But there are a lot of things available to us, and we're not just looking for the new people. While we want the young people, we want to look at those other groups that may not be on Instagram and TikTok. And that's why I suggest things like talk radio and television news. There used to be a show here in North Alabama called Morning Folks, and it was on from 6 to 7 in the morning. But this was a lot more country back then, and people would get up and they would watch that show while they were having their coffee before they went out to do their work for the day. It was a very popular show. And I'll let you know something else. The most popular TV newscast is actually Sunday nights at 10. People are coming in from a busy weekend and they decide, hey, I need to catch up on the news I missed. And you learn things like that. I learned it 30 years ago when I worked in news media. But it would help to have information like that from someone who is a professional in marketing or someone who knows it. But we are, like we said, we're volunteers. So we have to work together to develop these things. What other ideas do you have for reaching out to people and bringing them in to at least visit your club? Danita, I heard you mention in the chat, you mentioned the student center. You seem to be younger than a lot of us here. Any other ideas for attracting the younger members? The Chamber of Commerce. Yes, Landa, that's a very good idea. Jessica, you still here? You are our district public relations person. Do you have anything to add to what we've talked about tonight? I don't see her anymore. Yes, Danita. Word of mouth, that's the best advertising still. All of these ideas aren't going to work unless we do something more than just get the people to join. So that's the thing I want to stress as we end tonight, is that it's not enough to just effectively market your club to new members. You've got to convince them that your club can fulfill their needs. And how do you do that? You have effective meetings. Susie, you had something?
Lillian does something really effective. I've seen a couple other people, but I don't know who they are, but they do what she does. And when she posts her posts, and they're great, she says, if you like, hit like and share. So I always look to see how many of our members share, and not too many.
Yep.
Not too many, and they're really great posts. So that's something, that we should, think about, really encouraging our members. This is our club. We want to make it better. Please do your part, like and share. It's a simple thing. If you're on social media, it's a simple thing to do.
Landa, that's a great idea. Going to your realtor association and talking with the CEO to encourage the realtors. That might be another place where you can encourage to talk to the group. Susie has mentioned Rotary, and there's a big push in Toastmasters to speak to Rotary. One of the things that we have here in North Alabama, the Catholic Church that Susie is a member of sponsors a job club for people who are looking for a job. And at each meeting, they have a special speaker. And my husband speaks there about once a year, and he always mentions Toastmasters as part of his speech. Now, he's not speaking about Toastmasters in general. He's talking about what he looks for when he interviews people, or how to make a good impression in your interview or improve your resume. But he works it around at Toastmasters in the end. And Susie has told me she always makes sure they've got those Toastmasters brochures to hand out at those meetings. Is there something like that where you are, that you can go find people who are looking to improve? But once they join, we've still got work to do. You need to orient the new members. You need to help them sign up for a path, assign them a mentor, and schedule them to give an icebreaker within 1 month of joining the club. Because if we wait too much longer, we might lose them before they ever have a chance to get involved in the club. There are a lot of ways that things that we can do to help potential members and new members grow. Now, Lillian just added a link to chat for a evaluation in 6 questions that I would like for you to answer to help me know what I can do to improve and to let me know what worked best. She also included my email. If you have any questions, anything that I can help you with, I would love to. That's one of the advantages of being not the immediate past district director anymore. I've always gone to Lillian and Susie and other former district directors when I had a question and needed help. And now I'm one of those, so you can ask me too. And if I don't know the answer, I do like Lillian and Susie. I either ask them or I go find out where to find the answer. That's what's so great about Toastmasters, is we're helping each other. And I'll give you one more thing that I tell people about Toastmasters. You don't just get out of a Toastmasters meeting or a Toastmasters club what you put into it. You get out of it what everybody else is putting into it too. I always say I learn something new at every meeting. It may just be about the theme. It may be about a new member giving their icebreaker, but there's something to be learned all the time in Toastmasters. Now, I really appreciate your attention. Anything else? I'm going to open it up for comments from anyone.